You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello and welcome back. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Thank you for joining us. We love having you. You are watching Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, the business talk show. I am your host, executive producer, director, and broadcast engineer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. And with me today is the infamous, the one and only Cini.
I'll take it. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. It's great to be here. And we are going to have a difficult time keeping up with our guest today.
Yes, he's had quite a day already.
Yes, but I think we're going to be talking about a topic that I think most business people really don't understand the whole idea of what a brand is. And we'll be talking to somebody who knows how to craft one, how to recraft one if it needs to be. And it'll be a fun conversation.
And as a new business owner, I can tell you, I understand all the challenges that come with your brand and how to take it to the next level. So I'm keenly interested in what it is that Ryan's going to share with us. Before we bring him out, you're looking very tan, very healthy.
Yeah, I don't know whether the two go together. Generally, it's most dermatologists would not recommend this look, but I got to tell you, we got summer off to an early start here in the Northeast, and we've already had a couple of days that pushed 95. Today, we're up in the 90s again. It's supposed to cool off for the next couple of days. Always does around Memorial Day. But we've had plenty of sun, and I've taken advantage of some of it.
Well, you look great. You look very healthy and full of life. And before we bring Ryan out, I think it's really important for our audience to know what it is you're doing when you're not on one of these two shows that we have. So would you share with us about your work at BCAT?
Sure. In fact, this is one of the topics we can discuss when Ryan Harbinson joins us. External brands are generally how companies market themselves to clients. We're partly that, but we're also partly internal branding. What is it that the employee understands about the company that they work for? And what we found in our research is that when organizations make the same promises to both the outside world and the inside world, when they walk their talk to both their clients and to their employees, they grow faster, they're more successful, they get things done more effectively, they have an easier time getting traction in the marketplace. So that whole concept of branding is actually very near and dear to my heart.
Well, we're always happy to hear what you're doing at BCAT, and we wish you continued success.
Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Why don't we bring Ryan out to join us? He's actually close by in Philadelphia. So
he is. He's nearby. That's great.
Hi, Ryan Harbison.
Hey.
See you.
What's going on?
No, I don't know, Ryan. What's going on with you, man? I don't know what all that stuff is, but sooner or later somebody has to dust it.
Well, are you wondering, Mr. Cini?
Yeah, I heard you volunteered, so come on over.
Okay.
I hope you like bourbon.
And I've heard you've got a pool. So between pool and bourbon, I think you got me.
Ryan, you've had quite a day already. And we thank those who have interviewed you before us because you've got so much to share. You're in demand. We want to hear all about what you're doing. So I'm going to spotlight you. Tell us a little bit about you and your company.
Sure. So my name is Ryan Harbinson. I am the Director of Business Development with Clearbridge Branding Agency. We work with mid-size organizations really to help them revitalize their brand, right? And really what that means is we're a one-stop shop for everything that your brand has to say or get in front of. So, branding and creative is kind of where we start and where we shine as an organization. Then really, who is that audience that you're trying to get in front of, and what is the messaging you're trying to put out to those people? And then really our giant checklist, right? So it's TV, radio, video, SEO, social, web, and a lot of internal, external stuff as well, too. So we're kind of a one-stop shop for your message, your brand to kind of get in front of the right people. What we really do is we make campaigns. So that's what we do. So we make sure that what you're trying to say, what you're trying to do is consistent across all the different options and mediums that are out there. So.
Oh, that's a mouthful, but so here I am trying to start a business, and I've done that a couple of times. And I've not always done it right. One of the mistakes that I tend to make is the way I represent what I'm doing to different people sounds different. And as a result of that, the different impressions people take away make for less traction in the marketplace. So if I'm going to send out a press release, I can use you guys.
Correct.
If I need to get my website lined up, I can use you guys.
Bring it on.
If I need a logo, you guys can work that out for me.
Let's go.
Okay, cool. That's great.
Ryan, you typically work with people who are starting a business, or maybe people who are already in business and they need a refresh?
Yeah, so we really work with established companies that are kind of looking to get through that ceiling to the next level. So if you're in the $10 million range and you can't get past that, and we see a lot of times that it's better to kind of bring us on as a team. Of course, if I'm on a call, I get all the love, and if I'm not, nowhere to be seen.
That's fine.
So what we do is we kind of work and work hand to hand with your marketing department. So what we like to do is kind of the back end stuff, the best in show, and get that message in front of the right people. And then your team works with us to kind of develop what the new campaign looks like, what the new strategy is, and kind of works on that. We call it culture content, the day-to-day stuff, the stuff that really allows you to connect with your audience instead of being like, good afternoon. Did you know that prices have never been lower, and today we can help you grow your organization to the next level? Guess what? Nobody cares. I hate to break the news to you, right? There's a difference between hard selling people and actually having an education, component to what it is that you do. Right. People care about the people that work at the organization. There's also great opportunities for you to be able to highlight the things that you do in a fun way, right? So, hey, it's nice outside. We had a pop-up barbecue. Hey, Larry's been here for 10 years, or first day for this person, or happy birthday, Steve. That stuff is the things that people love to see. And at the same time, if you're doing or making things, there's a great way to highlight that, maybe what the process looks like, instead of it being just a hard sell to people online or somewhere else.
Ryan, as you were talking, I was just thinking, I've got a 500 or 600 slide PowerPoint deck I'd like to present to you all right now. How do you break people of that habit?
Yeah, it's actually funny you say that. So, like in Japan and over on the other side of the river, they would have like architects come and try to do like pitches for like new buildings and things like that. And it was getting so long that they were in these things for like 4 hours. So they actually developed a new style of stuff called Pechikichu, which is 20 slides, 20 seconds.
Oh.
So here you go. Tell me what you need to do. You got 20 seconds per slide. If you can't figure it out, and then have a nice day. So I think it's the understanding again of coming back and what is the message you're trying to tell people, right? How can you make it fun, but also make it educational? And there's a big line on that too. People don't want to be just kind of talked to at the same time, especially presentation wise. That's a big part of it.
And the other thing I'm thinking too is the old elevator pitch that you spend a couple of weeks working with somebody like you to craft, then the people in the organization memorize it. So whenever anybody says, so tell me about your company, you can almost see their eyes glaze over and they turn into these dead sharks and they spit out this thing they've memorized. It has no emotional impact at all.
Yeah, exactly. So I used to work for another company a couple of years back, and my pitch was heard and said so many times that when I wasn't at events, people that I was friends with would volunteer to do my pitch.
They memorized it.
Which means I'm doing my job because you know exactly what it is that I'm trying to get in front of, what I can do for you, but also you want to make sure that you're short and sweet and to the point, right? We live in a generation that is a headline reading generation, right? They say they read an article, but really they just read the top of the news, right? So part of that is also short and sweet and to the point is really the key, because you only have people for so long. Great website traction is 20 seconds on your site. The best content on TikTok is 8 seconds. So that's the world that we live in.
That's it. So, Dr. Jacalyn, you just going through a rebranding in a way, I think, with your website.
Yes.
One of the lessons you learned was short and sweet. Is that right?
It's not 2001 anymore. People aren't going to spend 3 hours on your site going through. They want to be in and out and to the point.
Wow.
And one thing that I learned that, listen, maybe everybody knows this and I didn't, but when you go to the website, I think it's called the top of the fold, that real estate that people see. I had nothing of value there. I just had a picture of me like, well, hello, like, what's the message? Why should we come to your site?
Yeah.
So folks out there, they can work with you to make that top of the fold really relevant.
Totally. And there's different ways to bring traffic to your site. And I know we say 20 seconds is good. And that's for the people that want to get in and out. But, part of that is understanding who the audience is and what you're trying to tell them. And like for someone like yourself, that's why content on the site is a great way to drive traffic to the site, right? So blogs are not dead. Blogs never left. Blogs are still very important in the SEO process, through Google, and through creating that content that then you can put out through social media. So it's kind of a double whammy. So you're creating that content to put onto social to help with your search engine optimization, but then also bringing traffic to your site. And if they read one article, hopefully they go back to your backlogs and they start to kind of see what else you got. And then maybe you're like, hey, I really like what she has to say. Oh, yeah, I definitely want to join the newsletter.
Mm-hmm. Good points. Now, I'm wondering, I know that writing a blog is very important because it gets your website viewed by Google, or whatever it works with Google. So is that something that you do for business owners? Will you write blogs for them?
Blogs are part of what we do, but we also help them understand. So a lot of times they realize that they have the content, they just don't know how to organize the content. So it's better for someone that does heavy construction all the time to write their own stuff, because we're not in the construction business and they have more of an eye and an understanding of what's going on. So we come up with that strategy and kind of ask them a bunch of questions that maybe they're not thinking about, that helps kind of inspire them to come up with new content that they can put out on themselves too. Because when we're deep in the weeds like that, it's harder for us to be out on everything else, because we want to do kind of the best in show stuff that's moving on overall and outside the organization. It's better because they're the experts in that field.
I will say, and this is kind of the confessional part of the Dr. Jacalyn program. You get an idea, it's in your head, you're really happy with it, you're really proud of it, and you never post it. Get in the habit of getting out there with their stuff.
Yeah, analysis paralysis is the worst thing in the social world out there too, and the reason is too, I think it's a couple things. I think one is people don't either think that the content they're putting out is relevant, and when you're not putting content out at all, then you're not being seen, right? You got to live your life by a couple things. First to mind, live in the feed. Okay, that's number one. And if you're not living in the feed through a couple different options, then you're missing out, right? It doesn't always have to be your content that you're sharing. There are people out there that are spending millions and millions of dollars to create content. I mean, depending on the organization that you are with or the industry that you're in, I guarantee you that your day starts off with site A, B, C, and D every morning to see what's going on in either things that you're interested in and or the industry that you're in. So in that, it opens up two different opportunities. One, you can just be known as, for me, the game guy, right? That also happens to do branding, which now opens up opportunities for me to get into people and industries that I actually have a passion for, to then work with esports companies, gaming facilities. I mean, I was in the game industry for a long time. I know games. I got games published on Nintendo DS. I worked for a bunch of publishers. So I love that stuff. So that's a good opportunity for me to push it out. The other side is become a subject matter expert in the industry that you're in. So I'm always posting marketing tips and tricks from big organizations. Our VP of digital is an expert writer for Forbes. So she's always writing great content with Forbes, and we're sharing that stuff out too. So remember, when you're not posting, you're missing out on opportunities to get in front of the right people. Also, you're missing out on opportunities to get involved in the conversation, right? Content is king, and engagement is queen. And if you're not being engaged in the hashtag game and or in the conversation with the people that A, you're connected with, or B, that you're trying to get in front of, then you're missing out on opportunities to turn things from ice cold to lukewarm, to drive traffic to your website and or your LinkedIn page, or for people to know that you're either A, a subject matter expert in the field that you're in, B, someone that is passionate about other things that you interest you that are opening up new doors, or both.
Oh, so I mean, you've called out the king and the queen, and I get those characters. I even today, and this, I'm somebody who's at least aware that this is a problem for me, even though I'm not doing anything about it. I had this great idea, and I offered it to somebody in an email, and then somebody I know called me up and said, "Why aren't you posting that?" And I figured out from that I must be the joker in the deck. I'm not the king. I'm not the queen. I'm the joker. I mean, just getting in the habit of getting things out there. So if I hire you then, Ryan, which is where we're headed. There are a lot of people out there who need this kind of help. You will remind me that I need to get out there with stuff. You will help me get out there with stuff.
Correct.
You will make sure that the stuff I get out there with is consistent everywhere I'm going out with it.
So it's a couple things, right? So it's understanding, first off, the platforms that you want to be on. That's first and foremost. And I think what the issue is that people get overwhelmed with the amount of social media that's out there, and they want to be on everything. They want to be on Facebook and Snapchat and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and YouTube and go down the list of all the other 40 that are out there. Okay. We would find out where are the audiences you're trying to get in front of first and foremost, right? The other thing too is understanding, what a content calendar looks like. Okay. It's the same thing as television programming. Just think of it the same way, right? There's ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, right? Each one of those is a little bit different, and they put out different programming based on the audience that they're in. CBS is a little bit of a comedy with a bunch of murder TV, right? ABC is a little bit more family oriented. NBC is a little bit of, drama and a little bit of comedy. And Fox is pretty much the wild child, right? But they know the content and the message that they're putting out there for that. It's the same deal with the social media. So first you got to identify what you want to be on, right? And how much you can handle. Like if you've got a Twitter account and you haven't posted since 2017, Twitter's probably not the spot for you to be on. Okay, I'm sorry. I hate to break the news to you.
I don't want you to.
It's probably not to be the spot.
Help me, Ryan. Help me.
I think the other thing too is understanding that what do you want to put out there, right? So come up with TV programs, right? I'm going to post on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tuesday is me telling, and it can be a simple starts like. Tuesday is I find something in the industry that I know, and I'm going to post that information from the Wall Street Journal, and I'm going to put that out there, and I'm going to write a little 3 sentences, and every Tuesday you're going to get some really good info on what's going on. Wednesday, it's going to be a quick little video of what my week looks like so far. Oh, God, craziness, got my coffee black. Oh, how do you like your coffee? Let me know in the comments. See you later. And then Friday is, man, what a kick-ass week. We got so much done. I'm really looking forward to this. Or coming up with what the people that you want to get in front of. If you know your audience loves golf, then you should be posting about golf all the time because it's going to bring people in that want to get to know you better and go, oh, also, I do this. My favorite question is when people go, so what is it that you do? That means that I've grabbed them. I got them. Now they're interested. So that's what we do. We have people come in and want to know, how can I be involved with your organization? We get the messaging out to the right people. And while you're doing the kind of the culture content, the daily stuff, again, we're finding the people to drive traffic, either call to action, right? Having people click sites that will then have forms to fill out. We're unfortunately those people that will follow you around the internet for 30 days. So you go to Home Depot and you look for a weed whacker, and now all of a sudden you got weed whackers everywhere, baby. That's us too, right? But we also want that to then be throughout all the different mediums so that we kind of start to follow them around, and maybe they see it or they hear it on something else and they go, oh, I remember those guys.
Oh, okay. So I'm not on every platform.
There's and honestly, if you don't have an entire team, you shouldn't be. You really shouldn't be.
I'm not on Facebook mostly because relatives. So, but I am on LinkedIn because my relatives don't tend to be there, and because it's a different kind of It's not the kind of thing where you post what you ate or.
And that's not what the platform is meant for.
Yeah, you just don't do that. So if you're in the business to business marketplace,
Sure.
There's no need for you to be on every platform.
No.
And don't get jealous because you heard somebody else is on Instagram. That doesn't mean you have to run out and be on Instagram, does it?
Negative. I mean, it depends. It depends on what the message that you want to put out there. Like, so for me, I really focus on Facebook a little bit, Instagram a tiny bit, and really all LinkedIn, because that's where my audience is at, right? They're the people that I want to get in front of. But, I'm not here to hard sell anybody on anything, right? Like, I want to help people out. And if I can help people out and connect people where it is, eventually in the long run, hopefully it turns into something. But if not, I hooked up 2 great people that hopefully are going to do business together, and they're going to grow together. Right. We can get crazy with it and go 1,000 miles an hour. But in the end, it's all about low and slow. Patience over greed. And that's the key for everything. It takes time to develop things. Let it organically happen instead of trying to go crazy and make 1,000 cold calls and get 100 people to say yes and then close 6 deals. I mean, you can do that. But
we don't live in that world anymore.
But what's that going to turn into? It's going to turn into no relationship involved.
Yeah.
It's the same deal. It's that low and slow mentality that really allows your brand to grow and really turn into something. I know it's like crazy to think of, but at one point, Geico really wasn't that big of a deal.
It's not so crazy to think. Ask Dr. Jacalyn.
I know. She knows.
I mean, she is the epitome of persistence in social media.
Look, you should not worry about likes and comments and views.
Right.
Okay? Put the content out there, and as you do, as long as it's, if you have a passion for what you're writing about and the content that you're putting out, people will find it. It's just like a restaurant, right? If they've got great food, people will find out that they've got great food. It's the way it works.
I am so pumped up. I feel like yelling through the streets. I love your energy. You have so much knowledge, and think of all the people who are out there who have a business, but they're kind of stuck. And you mentioned that number, $10 million. Are you stuck on that in terms of who you work with?
I mean, we love that, because those are the people that really understand that our team of experts, the average experience for our team is about 22 years. Our VP of strategies run national campaigns for KFC and Taco Bell. So we kind of bring that big city New York feel, but to the middle of South Jersey, and we got offices in Philly and Chicago. But, we always love to listen. I mean, we go a la carte with stuff, but we're not really a vendor. We're a partner. We really want to help people grow. We really do things in phases to get you to where you need to be. So
you become an extension of their team.
Exactly. Yeah. And we love it too. I mean, we get phone calls every once in a while where they're like, you have to stop. We can't handle the traffic. There's too many phone calls. We're like, wonderful, beautiful, love that.
That's a happy day.
I'll get my bourbon and go out to the pool. All right.
Yeah, you know it.
Ryan, when you were talking you mentioned Taco Bell, and I had a question in mind, but I completely forgot. That's my favorite restaurant.
Oh, that's my guilty pleasure all day. So.
You guys know that was my first job, that I worked at Taco Bell, and they put me in charge of raking the meat.
Well, I mean, somebody has to do that, right? I didn't even know that was part of it. I know the spackle gun part, where like extruded out of a spackle gun.
Big gun like this big. I was at
It's an amazing restaurant line.
So, Dr. Jacalyn, I was actually a McDonald's kid first and foremost. That was my first gig. But what the McDonald's people knew that hired up me was that they also secretly hired all of my friends, and about 8 of us took over the McDonald's, and they had no idea that we were all like best friends. It was wild. You'd go into like the fridge to go get like eggs, and like the lights would turn out and 5 guys would come in and just like pump you with creamers and eggs, and you walk out and be like, oh my God, I got jumped in the fridge. It's funny because I'm 16.
That's dying and going to heaven when you're 16. That's about as good as it gets. That's great.
I love that we all have that Taco Bell connection. That's pretty funny.
With me, it's more on the demand side than the supply side. But yeah, definitely, no question.
I forgot we need to take a break, so we need to hear from.
No. Okay, all right.
Yes. All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, my name is Ralph Graves Jr. I'm the host of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show, and I want to invite you to pick up my book, Unstoppable. I wrote a book called Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. The one thing that my 20 years of law enforcement has taught me is that no matter who you are, we are all governed by universal laws, like gravity. But in this book, we're going to talk about laws like the law of forgiveness, laws like the law of control, the law of intelligent practice, the law of expectancy. I was able to see how those, no matter what their background was, those who identified and treated these laws with respect, they were able to go on and lead successful lives. So pick up this book, and you can go ahead and pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, RalphGravesJr.com, where anywhere where fine books are sold. Thank you.
There are 7.7 billion people on Earth today. 40% of these people are under the age of 25. Young adults are the most fertile mission field in the world today. In Scripture, we see Jesus pouring his life into 12 young adults who he equipped to change the world and all of history. Like Jesus, we believe that the best approach to reach the world with the gospel is to invest in young, emerging leaders and equip them to build disciple-making movements. Concentric is the notion of surrounding and sharing a common center. Our center is the model and strategy of Jesus for both leadership development and ministry formation. As a global alliance, we provide equipping in biblical leadership based on Jesus' example in the New Testament. Jesus modeled for us how to make disciples that reproduce. Focusing on leadership development is key to creating movements that spread the gospel and Jesus' disciple-making strategy to young leaders around the globe. Our Ministry Alliance partners are actively equipping leaders and building movements of multiplication that reproduce the life of Christ. Join us today to equip young leaders with Jesus' strategy that will change cities and nations.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAT partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAT partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
Academy Sedan and Limo is a full-service transportation company serving the Philadelphia metropolitan area with full knowledge of the New York City, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. areas. We pride ourselves on being the most dependable, conscientious company in the industry. Our always on-time service and dependable pricing make us the company to call for any event or occasion. Our vehicles can accommodate any size party for any occasion. Our vehicles range from 4-door sedans to SUVs to minivans to limo buses to full-size tour buses and can accommodate groups of 2 to 100. We offer airport shuttle service or over-the-road service without limitation regarding mileage or time, and no drive is too long or too far. So if you find yourself in need of transportation of any type with any vehicle, give us a call at 610-842-4564 and let us show you what a real transportation company can do for you.
Use code ACADEMY2020 to receive 20% off your first 3 rides, including parking and tolls.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Well, we've changed places. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, the Business Talk Show. I am your host, and with me is Over here, because you moved. My co-host Al Cini and our special guest Ryan Harbison. And Ryan is the go-to if you want to take your branding to the next level. If you want to understand how to get your website aligned with SEO so that you're up high in the Google search rankings, and what's going on with social media. Who knows? Ryan knows.
I think that pretty much summarizes it. Ryan, there are so many ways you can go wrong with this too. I know that in order to get ranked on Google, it's not just about having the right keywords. There are other characteristics you need to have in your website. There are mistakes you need to avoid, that kind of thing.
Correct. Yeah.
You guys do all that?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a really good relationship with a lot of the big tech guys out there. We have been a partner with them for so long that we can, call somebody at Facebook and just say, "Hey, Steve, what's going on? See, you guys changed the algorithm again." And the same with Google and everyone else. So, we are really on top of the trends, all the new things that are happening within, the tech space to really kind of make sure that everything is done correctly. And, we are not the push a button and let it ride kind of people. We're always switching it around, changing the strategy. Sometimes Facebook does better than this. Sometimes search is doing great. Sometimes radio is doing good. Sometimes direct mail is crushing it. We didn't really realize that. So it all depends on what's going on.
I know you're easy to get a hold of because I just made an appointment to talk to you in June.
I've got many options on the calendar too, as you can see.
And you didn't bill me for that, so I know the first call is a get to know you call. And I think there's so many people out there who could benefit just with 15 or 20 minutes of time with you, just to begin to scratch the surface of what could be a huge opportunity for them. So
yeah, I think a lot of it too is that people tend to, I call it the dead plant theory, right? So like you go to work every day and everything's going on, the day slips away and someone comes in and goes, "Hey man, that plant's not looking too healthy over there." And they're like, "What plant?" You're like, "That plant that you obviously have not watered in like a month looks like it's on its way out." And that's just part of it. And we get that. And what we do is we kind of bring that fresh perspective of maybe kind of, it can be duh moments. Like, of course I should be doing that, to like full blown strategy on how we can help really get you in front of the right people. So
that's great. That's great.
And we love what we do. And I know it's crazy to have to say that, but like we really take pride in who we are. There's a lot of people that do what we do out there, but we're kind of like the mechanics of the digital world, where like there's a crap ton of us, but there's only a couple that are honest, and there's only a couple that are honest and do a great job. So,
well, and have the energy to really do it differently every time, because there are an awful lot of people out there who do what you do or claim to do what you do. And they're flying on automatic pilot. I mean, they're doing the same things over and over again every day.
No way.
Trying to fit everybody into a formula that works for them. But you really need this needs to be a bespoke process. You need to make a custom tailored suit.
Yeah, and it's a different process, and it's a different approach depending on who it is. And also, we strive on like, if we're working with a company X in the Philly area, we're not going to bring on someone that's in the same like industry. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, good.
Ryan, do you work with people who are outside? I know you mentioned Philadelphia, New Jersey, and Chicago. Do you work with people outside of those areas?
Oh yeah, we have clients all over the U.S. So everybody's a fit. We do really well in the food world. So that's why we're in Chicago. We love food, food packaging, processing, restaurant chains, things like that. That's a great world for us. So Chicago's great in the gaming space as well too. So.
Ryan, I'm wondering, what are some of the things that you personally have learned on your journey as an entrepreneur when it comes to branding?
All right, so I would say a couple things, right? Is, in the early days when I ran my own stuff, we didn't have a large budget. And I get that that's kind of the situation for a lot of people out there. It's like, hey, great, man. Like, we don't have, $7,500 to $10,000 a month to work with you guys. So what else is there out there that we can do? And it's like, start small. I mean, postcards are awesome. Going to like all kinds of small trade shows in the area. I always love yard signs. You can get like cheap and quick yard signs, one color, double-sided, and just kind of start that guerrilla process. Really get involved in the community. is huge, right? I mean, there's like 3 or 4 different like tiers of organizations that you can do. There's like town-based chambers. There's like, like multi-city kind of things, like a greater area. Then there's like regional, and then there's like full-blown state. So like work a couple of those little scenes to kind of get involved and get, well known. Sponsoring small things, like the local baseball teams and things like that. That's old school stuff that still really works if you're trying to kind of start a small organization to grow. I mean, that low and slow world is really the way it works. And what that'll do is it'll bring people in to kind of understand your story, because in the beginning, you don't want to go from making, 10 grand a week to making 80 million. That's too much of a jump. So that slow start is really the way to go. I think also is determining what platform works best for you and sticking with one platform on the social stuff and really investing your time into that one platform. And usually that platform is Facebook. Really developing a strategy on Facebook. You can spend $100, $150, $200 a month on Facebook and run some ads and really get some traction for your business.
Great insights. Some of those I've never thought of before, by the way. So,
well, I have a friend of mine owns a kind of a medium-sized accounting firm, and he once told me that he got 20 or 30 new clients in 1 year by sponsoring a local softball team.
It's a big deal.
A lot of new client memos came from that. It was just, we saw your name on the uniforms, on the jerseys of the kids who were playing, and we thought we'd give you a call. So it's amazing how little baby steps, really, in a lot of ways like that.
Well, and there's great opportunities on that, because guess what? When you sponsored that team, you've just created free content for yourself. So there's no reason that you can't go to, like, what do they have, 16 games in a year? Like, go to 2 games, take a video, be like, that's right, I'm here with the Murphy's Accounting Law team, who is, what's that? Oh, 7-1. And don't worry, we're probably going to win the championship.
I got to tell you, first of all, a good friend of mine, Mark Iorio, is watching the program.
I love me some Mark.
He wanted to pipe in with Ryan Rock. So Mark is a guy who knows what he's talking about. So thanks for that comment, Mark.
Mark's a great guy. Thanks for watching.
So Ryan, I noticed that you do a lot of that on your LinkedIn profile, which I think is great. And,
it doesn't take that much.
But people just don't think to take their phones out and use them that way, do they? I mean, that's a lot of it is just.
Again, you're missing out on anything that you're doing is content. And that's part of it. And part of what I like to do is I have a nice sized network out there. And if I can help other people grow, that's just the best, right? Because now it's opening opportunities for people to get in other lanes that they might not be available in, right? And now I've got people that are in my feed and they're like, well, if I'm meeting with them, they're probably somebody good to meet with or someone to get to know. Right? And a 30-second video goes a long way. Yo, what's up? This is where we're at. This is what we're doing. This is so-and-so. This is who they work for. If you don't know them, what are you doing? Why don't you know this person? And post it.
And just because you didn't get 1,000 likes or even 1 like doesn't mean
it doesn't matter. Just
people saw it. Keep doing it. Don't stop.
Well, I think people don't really fully understand how the algorithm in LinkedIn works, right? So what I'm going for is I'm going for one of 4 things. I'm going for likes, comments, shares, or all the above. And what that does is that when someone I'm connected to, okay, or someone that I'm not, a second connection, which means we have someone in common, but we're not actually connected on LinkedIn, all right? What that allows me to do is it puts me in their feed. And everyone they're connected to is now seeing my content. Okay. And if I've got someone that gets 100 likes, that means I'm in 100 different lanes of traffic now with people that have at least 500 plus connections times 100. So now here we go. Now all of a sudden I have the opportunities to get 6,000-7,000 organic, non-paid for views just because I'm helping either organizations grow, I'm letting people know what's going on in the area, in the community, or highlighting people that I just love to know.
Ryan, I know you just touched on this. I just want to clarify a little bit further. So on LinkedIn, if you have a post that has thousands of views, but maybe you only have 20 likes, by the way, I'm speaking personally, is that something that means it's a success, that post, or it's about the number of likes?
So it's not. It's all it's everything as a whole, right? So those views just mean that content has been diving through other people's feeds. So those 20 people are helping you get those likes. The other opportunity that you might be missing out on is reviewing and seeing who is liking your content, because those people now are fresh in you're fresh in their mind because they like your stuff. So if you have second connections and or first connections, I love to use this technique to reach back out to first connections as they either A, view my profile, or B, like my content, because now I can reach out to them within the last hour and be like, if Al likes my stuff and then views my profile, I'm going to message Al, what's up? We should get together. We'd love to catch up. And he's like, hey, man, that's so weird. I was just thinking about you. And I go, I know. You were looking at my profile.
I know that. Duh.
So that's part of it, too.
So Ryan Harbinson, was there ever a time in your life when somebody said, boy, that Ryan is really shy?
Unfortunately not.
I love your energy. Is that a lot of it related to caffeine? No, I'm kidding.
No, just good to go. You know what? I tell you when I'm shy, when I got to pick up the phone and call someone cold. Hate everything about it.
But you can warm that contact up. I mean, everything you do on social media is about creating a warmer call so that when you pick it up, it's not going to be a struggle. Again,
it's about getting noticed, and that's why I love LinkedIn for those things right there. So, like, if Al is someone that we feel is a good client for us, I don't know Al, and we're a third connection altogether. I'm not going to just reach out to Al and just be like, connect. Good afternoon, sir. Here at Clearbridge, we could help you grow your brand. Yeah, okay, goodbye. No, he's never going to like me. But if I go onto Al's profile, okay, and I follow Al instead of connect with Al gets a notification that I started to follow him. All right. Then I'm going to scroll down into Al's activity, and now I'm going to like, comment, share, or all the above on anything that Al has posted, liked, or comment over the last 2 weeks. And now he's going to get a notification that I just did all that. So a matter of 2 minutes, I viewed your profile, I followed you, which allows me to get your content into my feed, okay, as if we were actually connected. And it also allows me now to give you notifications that I just liked all your crap. And then you're going to go, who is this guy? And what are you going to do? You're going to go to my profile and check me out.
I guess that's automatically. I want to know more about you. And, if it happens that you've got a solution for a problem I imagine I might have, that just raises the probability that I'll reach out to you and say, why don't we get together on a Zoom call and learn about each other?
And that's it. It's about educating people about what you do and then allowing those seeds to grow so that when someone says, I think it's time to kind of refresh the brand, they go, I got a guy.
Yeah, cool.
Ryan, one thing I remember about from our conversation before, you love to connect people. You're a connector. You're a networker. And I think that I want our audience to realize that, especially during these times, if you're not reaching out and connecting, if you're not promoting, what are you doing? Because this is a perfect time to build your business, build your brand.
Exactly. And part of that is just, especially if you're starting out and you don't have anybody, right? That's why those little chambers are a great way to go. Okay. And people go, well, I don't know what to do. I'm not good in crowds when I don't know anyone. That's how everyone talks in my brain, by the way. And so what I say is two things. One is when you go to those events, look for anybody that has a name tag. Anybody that has an actual name tag with the logo of the organization on there is either an ambassador or someone that works for that organization. Okay? Talk to them and say, hey, what should I do? Okay? 2, find a group of people that look like they all know each other. Slide up, wait for everyone to stop, or look at you and go, hi, I don't know anybody and it's my first time here. And they're going to go, oh my God, how did you hear about us? What's your name? Where are you from? Who do you want to know? We're so happy that you came in. And you just start like that. And then you build those couple of people, 3 or 4 people that are good people that you've kind of had conversations with. And that's it. That's your arsenal. So anytime that you're taking meetings with people, by default, you know that you've got these 3 or 4 people who go, oh, I'm going to introduce you to these 3 or 4 people. And they might not be a fit for you as a client, but they're really good at connecting or always like to meet new people. And that's where you start. And then before you know it, you got everybody under the sun who's a category, and now you're going into the category mentality. And now you're like, all right, this guy does payroll, this guy does insurance, I've got 3 guys that are realtors, I got this person that does wiring. Okay, that's a good one. I guess I'll use that at some point, and it just goes on and on and on.
Well, I mean, you make it sound so simple. And the reason why I asked you about that shy thing is, that little voice you just made before that would have been the Ryan voice if he ever was shy? That little voice. That's a very common little voice. A lot of people are shy. They're terrified at the thought of even beginning to do what you're telling them they could easily do.
Yeah. I mean, part of that is also, that's why the key is to talk to the people that run the organization and have them walk you around. If they're a good organization, they'll assign you to an ambassador and just become friends with that ambassador and be like, I don't know what to do. And they'll help you out. The other thing, too, is that most organizations will either send you a list of the people afterwards or a list of the people before. And if you get it before, just find 2 people that you would like to know and find people in the staff and go, I don't know Al. Can you introduce me to Al? Like, oh, Al's great. Absolutely. Come on, let's go.
I want you to know I've used that technique before where you mentioned where you go up to a group of people and say, hi, I don't know. And people are usually like, yes. We're so glad you're here. So
spill your guts.
Yeah.
Well, this is what it takes to be. This is what it takes to become one of those actual millionaires. I talk all the time about Steve Martin's comedy routine, How to Be a Millionaire, where he opens it by saying, "First, you get $1 million," which is very funny. But really, the issue is, how do you get that $1 million? And the way you get it is by connecting with people who want to give it to you. All they need to know is what you can do for them in exchange for that.
Yep.
And all you do is sit in the corner and never say anything. You're not going to get a share of any of that.
Well, it's all about you're helping without expectations, and part of it too is actually loving what you do, right? I live my life by many mantras, but one of my big ones is follow your joy to your best ability with no expectations. And when you love what you do and you're good at what you do, it's not that crazy anymore.
That's true, and that's great advice.
Very good advice.
Good.
We need to take a break and hear from some of our sponsors. I know how much we love that. We love our sponsors. Thank you for being here. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Meet the modern learner. Like most of us, the modern learner is short on time, on the go, and wants to learn on their terms and device of choice. The key is to meet them whenever and wherever they may be. The solution? Best-in-class content served up by the Engagement mobile learning platform, where the modern learner is at the center of the learning experience. For example, they can receive a text message that alerts them to a new learning module. They simply tap, watch, read and engage, or play a fun learning game. We transform your content into modules that are timely, accurate, academically rigorous, yet engaging and robust. Personality motivators are blended with modern adult learning principles to make it faster and more natural to absorb the content and have fun while learning. Our cutting-edge platform offers something for everyone. It can be an immersive experience where learners explore and engage based on what's relevant to them in that moment, or they can follow a set curriculum, earning badges and tracking points toward a credit or goal, or they can dive deeper into high-value professional content relating to their topic of interest. It's binge learning at its best. All this, along with an entire portfolio of real-time, usable data and KPIs for stakeholders. Imagine, share up-to-the-minute news, enhance current curriculum, build knowledge banks, drive sales, and foster community in the push of a button. To learn more or see a demo, please contact support@engagement.com.
It's what we do together that counts. The Big Alliance story. A true story about faith over adversity, perseverance, and entrepreneurship. Read Earl's story and how he became an entrepreneur. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible.com. For more information, contact Earl Hurd at earlhurd@bicalliance.com or call 1-800-460-4242.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. That's Dr. Jacalyn over there.
Switched again
I'm
on me.
Cini over here. and underneath us over there, we got Ryan Harbinson, who has forgotten more about branding than most people ever knew. And what? He's 14. How old are you, Ryan? I mean, for crying out loud.
I'm 38.
30 years
I got the baby face. And when I shave my beard, I get carded for PG-13. So.
Eventually you'll become old enough to want to lie about it. I'm kind of proud of you for just getting right out there with that number. Good for you.
Age is a number, right? That's all it is.
But let me ask you a question. We talked about for-profits, and obviously when people talk about branding, they're thinking about products and services that you sell to make money. But there are not-for-profits out there that are having difficulty getting traction in their communities, whatever that community might be, and it might be a national community. Can you help with that?
Yeah, I mean, that is a world that is rough right now, right? You're asking for money when money's rough for everybody else. So how and what do you do? And, I think part of it is this is a time where your boards are extremely important, right? Calling in the favors is huge right now. And I think part of what I've seen a lot with success in some of the nonprofit stuff is throwing almost like fun outdoor like cornhole and like almost like tailgating events has been really big right now, and has gotten a lot of great turnouts, because if you don't feel safe, you're still outside. You're helping somebody out. You can keep your distance, but you're also helping somebody grow. So I've seen a lot of that, and a lot of people partnering and being like, look, I can help out because I have a parking lot and you can have it for free. Right. And then you've got a handful of people and you say, hey, we only need like $5,000 to like cater it and do everything. We'll charge this much money. And if we do it right, we can make some money to help us continue to grow. So I think this is the time for your board to really try to help out, and also have those people that you rely on as either ambassadors or people that really love what you do, and kind of call the favors in to an extent, really.
And I want to drill that point home a little bit to some people I know out there who run not-for-profits. I know, Dr. Jacalyn, you know a number of people that are involved in various not-for-profits for causes that matter to you. Driving that point home, knowing what to ask for, having a clear ask, and then having a clear answer to the question, what are you going to do with that when I give it to you?
Correct.
And sometimes you can't do that yourself. Sometimes you need help from somebody like Ryan to craft those answers.
Yeah, and I think also the other thing too is this is a great opportunity, right? So what I think we've seen a lot is with us all going digital, right? Having these physical events go to digital, and now kind of going out of digital into physical again, we have to highlight the importance of the virtual component and what that really translates to now, right? It's not just like come in and go around the room and everything like that. It's an opportunity to put your message out for people that enjoy your organization, right? And might not be able to come to an event in Philadelphia. So if I'm going to throw a major event once a quarter, which is usually what you want to do, a golf outing, a gala, and we go back to the same old stuff, right? Having monthly content with people that are either part of your boards, part of the organization itself, or, understanding what you've done and having testimonial stuff is more than important. So if one of your sponsors is Subaru, like a handful out here, like what I'm doing is I'm going to Subaru and I'm going to have like a post-mortem on the creation of a new car concept they want to do. And I'm going to bring 2 or 3 of those people and I'm going to run a virtual event and I'm going to have them go. And now I've kind of made a fake fundraiser to an extent where I'm providing content and highlighting the sponsors and why they love my organization, and I'm creating free content. And it doesn't cost me anything because I'm doing it on Zoom or Teams or GoToMeeting or pick the platform.
Right. Wow. And that's a lot of power in that.
There sure is. I do a lot of fundraising for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. And this year our events are both virtual and in person. And I think that makes sense going forward to keep it like that, where there's always a virtual component, because sometimes people aren't able to go to an event on a specific day because they're somewhere else. But this way you still have that ability to network and to connect and bring people together.
Yeah, and that's a foundation, that's a national org, and like, who's part of that board? Like, probably people that have great business experience, yourself included, but everyone else too. Like, your board now is your content providers. If you do quarterly content roundtable discussions and or something that they all have in common. I mean, everyone's like, I don't want to hear about 2020 anymore, right? We know everybody's now where we're at. So how can we transition into it being who, what, and why, and have it be interesting? Because now you're highlighting your board and the organization as a whole.
Critical.
Yes, that's really good points. I'm learning so much from you, Ryan, and I just want to make sure that we give you the opportunity to let people know how to contact you. We are running your banner, but people are listening on Business Talk Radio. So how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. So LinkedIn is a great way to find me. Let's connect online. You can check us out at clearbridgebranding.com. We've got a lot of our work, who we are, what we do, all that as well. And if you do connect, just tell me how you heard of me so that I know it's not some random person trying to connect. And would love to chat and see if we can help, or just network and see if we can help each other grow our networks. So,
final question. You mentioned about Facebook and how you can advertise there to get more visibility and more people to see what you're posting. Do any of the other social media sites offer something like that?
Yeah. Everybody's kind of in the same boat. Facebook has just got almost 3 billion people on the platform. So it's a great one for more local stuff. Instagram does the same thing, TikTok as well. LinkedIn overall right now to the B2B world is like absolutely on fire. LinkedIn feels like Facebook a couple years back. There's so much information on LinkedIn that we can really zone in on the right fit. I want to talk to CFOs in this area that work for this type of company that have been with the company this many years. It's crazy.
Critical.
Absolutely. Great. Ryan, thank you so much for all of these incredible shares that you provided today, all these nuggets of information that we love. We look forward to having you back, and we'll give you some time in your day to go out to that pool.
I love it. I just got it all fixed up too, so I can't wait. Let's go.
For you, Ryan.
Would love to come back. Keep me in the loop. Thanks. This was really awesome. And Al, I'm looking forward to
I'll talk to you on the 8th of June, but I'm looking forward to it.
Let's go.
Thanks,
all right.
Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan. We'll see you again.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
I'm
worn out.
Yes.
He wore me out. I'm totally worn out.
He says
totally worn out. No, he did. I thought, listen, people who, if you weren't taking notes, that's okay. You can go back on YouTube and watch the whole program again. Bring a notepad and start writing things down, because that's how you're going to remember what to do. But that whole idea that you need to persist and you need to be patient and you need to be authentic and you got to be real. I just think it was a very refreshing conversation about the way things work in the 21st century.
I agree. And listen, I wish I was doing the numbers that Ryan's talking about, because I'd love to hire him, but that's not where we are yet, because we're still new. But when we get there,
that's part of the patience thing, right? We just have to keep doing this until we've got that.
Exactly right.
That's great, though.
Tell us again how we can reach you, Mr. Cini, and the services that you provide.
We're about getting you and your people to fall in love with your jobs. That's what we do. We have a method and an approach. It's scientific, but it's not clinical. People enjoy it. They say good things about it. They have fun with it. The ultimate goal is to engage the people who work for your company in the purpose that your company serves. And you're one of those people, by the way, if you're the owner of the company. And the easiest way to get in touch with me to learn more about brand and cultural alignment is by emailing me at al.cini@getbcat, getbcat.com, or you can call me at 855-999-BCAT.
So just to be clear, it's not Sir Alfred right now.
It isn't. It's only Sir Alfred on the Royally Rich show with our British friends.
With our friends, we love them.
They are wonderful, and that is always such a great experience. And I really appreciate you allowing me to be a part of that. Thank you, Doc.
It's my pleasure, and I do love Wednesdays. These shows are just so important because they touch so many people about authentic and real things that concern all of us. And as I mentioned, as a new business owner, everything Ryan mentioned, I have been going through, have gone through, and going back through it again. And it's all time consuming. So if you have the ability to hire Ryan and his team, I would highly recommend it, because I know I personally have wasted so much time making little mistakes that add up.
Well, I don't know if you got the time, though. Tell us about your book. Just came out.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I wish I had a copy here, but it's not coming until Saturday. My sister got hers. My mother's getting hers tomorrow. So my book is called Behind the Green Screen. I'll show a picture of it. It just launched on Sunday, and I would love for everyone to pick up a copy. The subtitle is How to Succeed in the Live Broadcasting Business. So you don't have to be interested in broadcasting at all. You just have to be interested in hearing an authentic story. This is my story of how and why I left the corporate world. I left corporate during the pandemic. I started this platform during the pandemic, and we started out on the phone, on the radio. Then we moved to Zoom. Then we moved to StreamYard. We were streaming to 2 sites. I had a producer. I learned how to produce, and now we have 17 shows on 11 sites. And I just talked to a couple of people today, and I think we're going to be expanding even more. And we are coming out with a line of jewelry, which is so exciting. So
you know what I like about it? I know you're running out of time and you got another show coming up, but you formed a kind of a nucleus, and you've surrounded yourself with people who want to help you, and they want to help you because they feel like they get something back from that. And I think the community you're building is a very powerful community of people that want to see this work. And I'm just amazed at how quickly you pulled that together and how much energy everybody is bringing to it. It's amazing to watch.
It's an incredible team of people, and especially you, Al. I owe so much to you, and I'm so grateful to you. And I put that in the book. So I hope that you will go and pick up a copy. Not you, I'm sending you a signed copy, Al. But I hope you go over to Amazon and pick up a copy of the book. And if you do, if you would please write a review, I really appreciate it. The ebook isn't finished yet. It'll be finished, I think, on Friday, and then I'll be able to offer that. I'll be able to send out some copies to people on that as well. So thank you for asking, Al. I appreciate it.
Great, Doc. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. I look forward to seeing you later. I'm just going to talk about the other shows for the rest of the day. Thank you, Al.
Hi, Doc.
Thank you, Ryan. So we had 3 mind-blowing shows so far. We started out in London, and then we went to London again with the Underdog show, and now we're here in the States. Our next show is coming up at, what is today? It's coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 9 p.m. British Summer Time, and it's A Better You. Mr. Al Cini is actually the creator of A Better You, lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. This is a presentation platform where you, the expert, think about it, you business person, you leader, you teacher, all the knowledge that you have, maybe the trainings you've already done, the workshops you've already created, all the content you have. What are you doing with it? People want to learn from you. Just like Ryan, he could take that content and make that into several lessons. People want to hear from you. They want short, bite-sized learning. So we're providing lessons that are 15 minutes long from experts. Then the experts will take that content along with a 5-question quiz that they design about that content, and they'll put it up on A Better You, with a capital U, and they will be able to have passive income streams because people are looking to purchase knowledge. While you're on our platform, you'll be able to get certified on all of the lessons. You'll also be able to play or participate in gamification Our platform has a ton of different options for games, and we also will be offering a reward and recognition program. Also, we have Journey to a Better You, which is not on today, but it's a segue. We are actually out to RFP for our in-person event that is in October of 2022. It's either going to be the second or third week. It's going to be 3 days and 2 nights. And we are going to be having a limited number of people who can attend. 1,000 people will be pre-selling. Why do you think you should attend? What's in it for you? We are going to have coaches, consultants, trusted advisors, people at the top of their game, leading breakout sessions, leading workshops. We will also have keynote speakers who have a tremendous following and a lot of knowledge to deliver. We'll be having networking sessions, and we will also have a trade show. So you'll be able to attend as a guest. Maybe you'd like to attend as one of our experts. Go over to drjacalyn.com, contact us. Our last show of the day is In the Name of Love, and this is at 5:30 p.m. It's a new time, and it's Eastern time or 10:30 British Summer Time. So we hope that you will join us for the rest of our programming today. We love having you with us. We thank you for being with us, and that's a wrap for right now. Thank you again. We'll see you again soon.